Hey everyone, what's up? Hope everyone's doing well. This is John Rennie. Welcome to Health and Fitness Simplified. Today let's talk about one of my favorites, the pure, white and deadly. Who is this pure, white and deadly? It's none other than sugar. Now this could be sugar in basically any form. Now why am I talking about sugar all the time? Let's talk about some facts. Let's talk about something that makes logical sense. Is this such a big deal? Is sugar such a big deal? Should you be really eliminating it from your diet? Should you be consuming it? Is there a minimum requirement for sugar? That is, which means a daily requirement. Something like, let's say, salt. There is a minimum requirement. Daily requirement of salt is mandatory because it has certain functions in the body. What about sugar? What are the adverse effects? Are there any benefits of consuming sugar? Let's talk about all of this in detail today. Let's talk about what exactly sugar is. Are there any nutrients in sugar? Well, the answer is absolutely no. Sugar has zero nutritional value. When we talk about sugar, it's nothing but simple carbohydrates. 99.7% sugar has absolutely no nutrition other than just simple carbs. Now, what happens when you consume sugar? Now, basically, when you consume sugar, there is a spike in your blood sugar level, which means your blood sugar level will increase. Following to this, there is a spike in insulin. Now, insulin is basically something that controls the sugar. So when you consume sugar, there is an increase in blood sugar. So what the insulin does is the insulin also spikes to bring this sugar into a balance or to decrease the blood sugar level. What happens due to this is then you have a sugar crash. So the sugar goes down. So basically these are spikes, variations which happen on a tremendous scale, which will generally not happen when you consume normal food, anything other than sugar, which means when you're eating nutritional food, you will never have these kind of fluctuations or spikes. So basically when there is a spike in insulin, you have a sugar crash, which results into desire for more, because what happens is your body goes into a state of emergency. So it feels that, oh, you need something again because there is a crash. So that's what makes you crave for more. And generally when you crave for more, you run back to sugar. It could be any form. Maybe it is chocolates, it is sweets, it could be anything, soda. So when you consume, you again feel satisfied and this cycle goes on, which means again you have a crash, again you feel like having more. You can ask yourself, if you're someone who's consuming a large amount of sugar, you can probably keep a track of what you're eating. Just write it down. It's as simple as that. Write down everything what you're eating and you can find out how much sugar is there in it. So with this, you would know how many grams of sugar are you consuming per day. Now, if you're someone who consumes a lot of sugar in a day, and if you want to know if it's good or bad for you, try to stop it with a click, which means you're consuming X amount of sugar today, try and go to zero sugar tomorrow. If you find a difficulty in it, you start feeling impatient, you start feeling restless, irritable, then something's wrong, which means this is something like a drug. If you are getting short-tempered, you're getting angry, you're feeling weird in your body, because you're not consuming the sugar. And the moment you eat it, you feel fine again. What is this called? This is basically called the bliss point. You would be surprised to know that when you consume sugar, it is literally similar to consuming cocaine. Now you might think I'm exaggerating this. Well, I'm not. Basically, when you consume something like cocaine or sugar, the brain area, there is a deep brain area which is called the nucleus accumbens. So this is the area that gets stimulated when you consume cocaine or when you consume sugar. So that's called, now basically when you consume sugar or any kind of narcotics like this, you attain something called a bliss point. That's because it goes and affects the nucleus accumbens. So that's how this is similar to consuming cocaine. You feel this bliss and you want to feel that bliss again, so you consume sugar. Now basically this, the disadvantages or the problems associated with sugar is nothing new. It was discovered way back, even in the 1970s, where, you know, there are people who have found out that a combination of sugar, salt and fat can take you to the peak of this bliss point. Now where can you find this? A very common, there are two examples I can give you. One is peanut butter, which I'm not talking about natural peanut butter, but I'm talking about peanut butter which you probably are giving even to your kids, which is Nutella. Try and look at the nutrition facts of Nutella. You will find that 80% of it is just rubbish sugar. It's hardly got any nutritional value in it. So it's a perfect combination of sugar, salt and fat, which helps you attain this bliss point, and you want it all the time. If you're someone who's consuming Nutella, you will find it impossible to stop it. You want to have it. You're probably having bread, which is again sugar, and then you add Nutella to it, making things worse for you. So you attain this bliss point and you want to have it all the time. And when you have it, you feel so contented. You feel so relaxed. This is the bliss point. Now, basically, depending on what you consume, there are ways in which you can stop this. As I said, when we talk about a logical way of thinking, now, what are the benefits? Are there any benefits? Well, no, there are no benefits of consuming sugar. What does it actually give you? It keeps you hungry, so you eat a lot, which in turn you have weight gain. You feel tired, you have increase in inflammation. There is, the other associated things with consuming sugar on a regular basis: depression, memory loss. One of the crucial factors, it feeds cancer cells. And as I said earlier, erratic brain cell firing. So these are the things what you get from sugar. Now you need to probably ask yourself if there is any benefit of consuming it. And as I said, if you are someone who consumes a good quantity of sugar in a day and you try to stop it immediately, you will not be able to do it. You will definitely have withdrawal symptoms. You will have issues in stopping it. But you will have to overcome this if you want to get out of this cycle. This could be irrespective of you are having sugar in any form. We're talking about honey. It comes from beehive. It is from cane sugar, organic, natural, blah, 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 blah. Doesn't matter. They are all gonna cause the same kind of issues which I mentioned earlier. So the way forward is you need to ask yourself if there's any benefit of this, or you just want to continue having the bliss point, or you want to stop this. Now, an example or the proof I can give you of sugar not being good is if any of you are having a newborn baby, or any of your friends have a newborn baby, you can ask them what is the reaction of the child when sugar was given the first time. Whenever you introduce sugar to a child for the first time, you would see the reaction of the child is it doesn't want it. fact of the matter. You can probably try this, or ask any of your friends who have a newborn, or if you yourself have a newborn baby at home. You will notice that the very first time that you give the child sugar, it is never consume sugar before they do not want it. This is one of the proofs, because the body is rejecting it. It knows it is not something good for you. So these are the ways in which you can question, ask yourself if you really need this sugar in your life. And there could be a couple of people trying to sell you sugar, trying to show that sugar is in different forms. As I said, peanut butter was one of the examples what I could give you, which is very high in sugar, and they try and code it as healthy. There are certain countries which have banned it, but in probably in all countries it doesn't happen. It does not come into Nutella, for God's sake. Absolutely does not come into a category of healthy food. It is absolutely junk. So are most of the drinks which we are giving our children. Could be Bonvita, Boost, Complan. Look at the amount of sugar which is in it, and we have made our children addicts to it, and they want it. They won't go without it. If your children are consuming a lot of chocolates or sweets, try and telling them one fine day that you're not going to provide them. Look at the way they would behave. I'm talking even from the example of my own children. I have seen how they behave when they are not given sugar. This is due to what I said before, the bliss point. So you love getting to that bliss point, you want it, and you can't stop it. Children, it's all right. I'm not trying to tell you that children should not eat chocolates, or it's probably something, okay, if they're not eating, it's great. But if they are, it's fine. Eventually they can stop it. Because what happens is, if you look at the amount of children with type 2 diabetes in today's situation, there are a high number of cases, and it's due to these unhealthy eating habits. We probably do not have time to cook something for them. So the simple way is to pack bread and Nutella. Finish. That's their breakfast. Or cornflakes, which are again not plain, but you want to add in colored cornflakes, flavored chocolate, or you put in sugar on top of the cornflakes. So that's what they are eating. They're probably, even this is the first meal that they are having beginning of their day. So we are making them sugar junkies. Well, let's ask ourselves if this is really necessary. There are absolutely ways to stop and get out of this addiction. I have friends who have come up to me. It's like they're confessed. They know that they are sugar addicts because they're not able to stop it. There are ways of stopping it. Feel free to get in touch with me, because it depends on what you're consuming to come out of this. Some are consuming it in different forms. It's not in the form of simple sugar. So there are ways that you can come out of this, and you should, because this is the major cause for a lot of problems, health problems. I hope the video was simple. It was easy to understand, and it made some kind of sense of the ill effects of sugar. Thank you for watching, guys. Please do like, share, and subscribe if you found this interesting, useful. Have a wonderful day, everyone. This is John Rennie signing off. Masalama.